All right. Please, if you can hear me very loud and clear, kindly indicate in the comment section so that we can dive into the conversation. Yeah, interesting. Hi there. If you can hear me, wherever you are joining us from across the nations of the earth, can you just uh, please indicate in the comment section so that I can know that you can hear me very loud and clear. Oluwole Adesunloro. Yeah, Lagos, Nigeria. You are welcome, my guy. Okay, doc. Um, oh, very good, very good. Ife Oluwatu, beloved David. Amazing gentleman. You're welcome. Oh, interesting. You all can hear me. That's interesting. So tonight, uh, I mean, depending on your time zone, by the way, I will not be spending a lot of time, but I have very important conversation to have with you at this very moment. Early today, I went to preach in a program. They call it Men's Breakfast. It's a white people's meeting. So I was just invited to come and preach there. And of course, so some of our international people were present too. It was such an interesting moment for me, relating with those people, father figures, different generation. Um, so part of the things I discussed there in the morning, I'm not going to repeat that here now, but there is something that I quickly want to share with you. I want to dimension that into what will be applicable, especially to those of you, who follow some of the things we've been doing here. And that's why I titled it, What Do You Approve? What do you what? Approve? Um, Maybe to set a background, for those of you, I want to believe everybody you have this contest. Anytime they want to do something in a country, you know, when you have a government trying to make a prediction of what they want to do in a fiscal year. So what they are going to do is to prepare what you call a budget. And they will send the budget to the National Assembly, especially those of you in Nigeria, every time they take budget to the National Assembly, it's always become a big deal. Everybody gets to know about it. And of course, you will not be able to execute that project that you plan to do until you have the approval of the National Assembly. Don't forget, I'm speaking about what do you approve. So the first thing you should ask yourself is, why do we take the national budget? After all, there is a president. And supposedly, the president of a country is the number one citizen of that country. So how come the president can't just continue to execute whatever he deems fit until he takes that thing through the National Assembly? And at the end of the day, the National Assembly will go through it and they are going to make some adjustments where necessary. And finally, that they give what is called approval. So, approval, because I like you to pay attention, because eventually I'll be talking to you, not about countries. I'm not here to talk about what is happening in any country. My focus is to bring people to the point where they can operate in their highest level of authenticity and operate in their agencies. It's that simple. So, you when they get the approval, then you can move on to start executing what you plan to do. Now, that they will do it is a different conversation entirely. But now, at least they have a constitutional right to go into execution. So, the idea of approval is there must always be a standard that something has to be compared with. And there must be, you know, an authority figure that is vetting certain things, then saying that I want to approve, I want to permit, I want to allow, I want to give, legitimate access that this thing should be carried out. So, exactly the way that is being done in nations, that is exactly how you are supposed to be operating in your lives. I'm going to show you a few scriptures, even though I'm not preaching, but I like you to pay enough attention to me. Because if you live in certain countries, especially third world countries, if you do not operate as a government on your own, you have reduced your efficiency and productivity by more than 50%. If you do not do what? Operate like a government, where you sit down and you make your own plans, you constitute your own authority, you set your own standard, and you put that standard, you know, into different compartments to ensure that nothing happens to you or comes into your life or your space without going through the standard that you have set. Okay, that is exactly the whole essence of this conversation tonight. Somebody getting what I'm talking about? So, the idea is I've paid enough attention to know that the people who will regret their lives in the future the most are not necessarily lazy people, are not necessarily people who are even doing bad, but a lot of people who will regret their lives in the future are people who are just indifferent about what is going on. And when I say indifferent, that is, you really do not mind. Whatever happens should happen. No. Anyone that reasons that way is, and you are not just endangering your own life, you are putting in jeopardy your own life, your destiny, and the destinies of all the people that surrounds you, that surround you, including maybe your immediate family. And I hope you know you are not living your life only for your families. Let's be clear about that. You are living your life apparently. I know those of you who have been listening to me, I said the moment you grow up to age 30, you must never evaluate yourself based on your immediate environment or your family anymore. Because whatever you are doing from that moment of your life must be sequentially measured relative to what is happening in your generation. So, in the formative stages of our lives, we can all be doing different things relative to what people are doing in our environment. When you clock 20, you must have come to the place of creative awareness of what you want to live your life for. At 30, and I'm not trying to hold you to any personal standard. I'm just telling you what, you can't even think about, you can't talk against it because it's applicable everywhere. But at 30 now, your evaluation is not geographical. Your evaluation is not a function of the family you are coming from. It is now a function of what is happening in your dispensation. So to not have that level of self-respect that you are not just for yourself is abnormal. Maybe to think that what my life is about is how I'm going to get food to eat, how I'm going to get clothes to wear, how I'm going to find a place to sleep. Oh, come on now. When you become a full-blown adult, if that is what you are thinking about, you've set out to fail, and to fail this time around at scale. So you must understand that every time you get it right, you are getting it right for several other people, many of whom you are not even aware of their existence yet. And every time you get it wrong, you are prolonging the journey of so many people, even in the wilderness. So that said, because of the weight of what is attached to you, either you are aware of it or you are not, I'm saying to you, You are not designed to be a powerless being. You are not designed to be just one of the numbers. You are not designed to be alive as a beneficiary. No, that is not your original design. Now, it is not impossible that you may live your entire life and grow to maybe 100 years and become powerless and live this life as nobody. That's not impossible. Apparently, majority of people will come to the world, majority, and they will leave this world as nobody. Nobody is going to be aware that they ever came. No, in fact, they will leave this earth, they will exit this earth unsung and unremembered. But I don't want you to be among those kind of people. As a matter of fact, that's the commitment that drives me to do some of these things that we are doing. So back to the conversation. What do you approve? Let me quickly show you a scripture here, because it was even that scripture that put me into this conversation this time around. I wanted to talk about, initially, I plan to talk about the series we've been on, depression and all of that. But I quickly want to just bring this up in real time. Philippians chapter 1, let me read from verse 9 and verse 10. I'll read verse 9 and verse 10. Apostle Paul was praying for the church in Philippi, and he said, "And it is my prayer that your love may abound more and more with knowledge and all discernment, so that you may approve what is excellent, and so that you may be pure and blameless for the day of Christ." Another version says, "that you may approve what is excellent and be sincere." That you may approve what is excellent and be sincere. Those of you who go to church, I want to believe you must have been familiar with this scripture. Not necessarily familiar, you must have come across this scripture a couple of times. That ye may approve what is excellent. Don't forget, because when you want to either become successful or significant, or you want to be an impact driven personality, you want to live a life of legacy, there is no way you will begin to acquire knowledge, in a different dimension than people around you are apparently not doing. That suffices to say, I've said that several times, let me say it again. The moment what you do in terms of personal development and preparation is not transcending the average performance of the people around you, you don't have any outstanding future in view. It doesn't matter who is giving you assurance. It doesn't matter the visions you have ever seen. It doesn't matter the encounters, even if angels have come to your room. The moment there is no single time in your life where you are committed to something in a way that an average person in your environment is not given that level of commitment. If you don't have that in your history, you do not have any outstanding future in view. That's what I'm saying. So your future is not going to meet you as a surprise package, because everything you are doing is preparing you for that future. Now, that said, you will begin to acquire knowledge, like I said, but that scripture says that your love may abound more and more. Now, there's a way we can do that conversation. We can take that conversation in terms of spiritual growth. Let's bring it to your personal life beyond what you even do relative to God. Now, I'm talking about your personal life. That your love may abound more and more as you increase in knowledge and judgment. Everybody, either you believe in God or you don't believe in God, agrees to the first statement that we should increase in knowledge, that we should acquire knowledge. But not many people agree to the second part, that we should also increase in judgment. That we should increase in what? In judgment. And let me tell you what we mean by judgment. I was sharing a story with people that if you drive in the United States, you will you need to maintain speed limit, not just the United States, every reasonable country. And in case you go against any of the traffic rules, then you will be apprehended by the police. Then they will serve you ticket that you will pay. So a friend of mine, they served him ticket, and if he felt he was not interested in paying that money because he felt this thing shouldn't be ticketed, basically. And you can do that. They call it appeal. You just go to court to tell the judge that I want to appeal this case, that I'm not ready to make this payment because I believe what I did is pardonable. And when they check it, you explain your part. If there are cameras there, they check everything and they will decide that, okay, if you win, you will not pay the money. If you lose, you will pay, and you can even pay fine too. The idea, I was driving out from that conversation with the people, they understood it better, was that thing that my friend wanted to do was his desire. But that desire had to be taken to a constituted authority who has the right to decide if this your desire is going to be established or not. You call that person a judge. You call that act judgment. That's exactly what you should be. I didn't say who you should be. I'm not saying you should be a judge. I said that's exactly what you should be. How do I mean? That you take the posture not only of someone who is a learner, but of somebody who is making a sound judgment of, number one, what are the things you want to be a judge about? Number one, of life. Number two, of situations. Number three, of circumstances. Number four, of your environment. Number five, of people. Now, you may want to write that down. Maybe later you can scroll this back to listen to what I'm saying. Why? It doesn't matter the desire of people running the agenda of this world. You can liken them to that, my friend. This is exactly what we want to make happen. Let it be that the jurisdiction where you are in charge, I've told you you are a government on your own. Let it be that people can't just achieve their will without your approval. I think the conversation, you are getting it now. If you can get it, type in the comment box that I get you, sir. I get you. People have to come through the protocol. It is called personal protocol, so that your life will not just be like a refuse dumping site. So you must take the posture of a judge. And I'm not saying posture of a judge to be judging people. It is that you make sound judgment through personal protocols and personal standard. So this is the idea. You are a government. That's already an entity of regulation on its own. In that your government, you now have different forms of operation. Now, I'm not talking of department yet. Please pay enough attention to it, because I don't want you to miss any part of this conversation. So you have your legislation, you have your executive, then you have your judiciary. The fact that you will get to that desired future you have is how you manage all these forms of your personal government. Your executive, a lot of people are preparing you for that. Maybe you have good mentors, perhaps you do. You are reading books, you are listening to messages, you are trying to, you are working on your persona. You are affecting, with all those things I've mentioned, you are affecting the executive arm of your government. That is exactly what regulates how you show up. Your conduct. Are you regal? Are you royal? Or are you a peasant with the way you do your stuff? That is your executive arm. And a lot of people have mastered that executive, not too many people, but everybody doing fine. An average person out there has learned one or two things about the executive aspect of their personal government. So they'll tell you dress well. The way you dress is the way you'll be addressed. Amazing. Read books so that you can begin to think like those authors. Amazing. All of those things you are still doing is the executive arm of your government. Okay? Where you are trying to learn how to create a thought process, your projection, your values, and all of that. But the other part, not too many of us have done well, is the area of your legislation, the legislative arm of your personal government. I'm still setting a background because, so just stay with me. You need to track what I'm saying big time today. So that part of your legislative arm is the part that sets your own standards. And when that part is not solid, it doesn't matter how much of executive build up you have done, you will fail in grand style. Do you know why? The world does not fight in a fair way. So you are in a real world, not ideal world, where you are interfacing with personality, forces, principalities, and power, some of whom are out there to kill you. I'm not saying to compete with you. They want to take you out as early as possible. I'm not even saying they want to take you out when you're already manifesting. They don't mind taking you out before you even come to the realization of your agencies. So it's not a fair world. So don't think everybody will come into your space and just do what is needed for your life to find its highest meaning. So you have to set some standard. That is your legislative arm of your personal government. So as I'm speaking to you, if you do not have that dimension of your personal operation, everything I will be saying going forward in this conversation, you do not even qualify to practice them. Because I'm speaking on what do you approve? So you don't have, if you do not have a constituted authority that is functioning by, defined rules and regulation, you cannot even, talk about what to approve or what not to approve. After all, there is no system of filtering. Because this thing is exactly why most people, after you have read all the books you have been reading, after you have attended different conferences, seminars, and all of that, paid mentorship, you are trying everything possible, but you realize that this is not all that there can be. One, then it's like you are not seeing the fruits of some of those investments. You are training your executive arm, but you have left your legislative arm unattended to. Is somebody getting what I'm talking about? So, what do you do in that arm? You set standards, and this time around, this standard must be in conformity, not with the executive level you have attained today, but rather the executive level you are aspiring to attain. Listen. There is a picture you have seen that you are believing to translate to reality. So that is the executive stature you are planning to get to. Because you may be executive inside now, but situations and all of that around you, they are not justifying that claim. So you do not set the legislative arm of your personal government in order to maintain your current executive level. Rather, your aspired executive functionality. That should be clear enough. And what are the things that will form this law? And I'm not saying laws like rules, Christians that are here now, you start thinking about, this guy's just emphasizing laws. Listen, there's no reasonable country without well-defined rules and regulation. That's why you have constitution. It's a legal word. You should operate as a legal practitioner in your own space. It's that simple. So what are the things you put there? Your core values. So in the place of your learning, increase in knowledge and all of that, you must be able to filter out what are the core values required to sustain a lifestyle that will ever become the kind of executive vision you are seeing ahead of yourself. Then you write them down. You write them down. You write them down. So these are my values. These are the things I permit around me. Approval now. Are you seeing that? Because this time around, you have set the standards, and you are not setting the standard for any other person. So this is self-agency now, personal agency. You are setting that standard for yourself. And you must now hold yourself to that standard. So your values, your to-do and action points, your values, the things you need to be doing, which are your action point. Number 3, your priority. When you set that, you need to understand it very well and embody it. That will now be the filter you will be holding. You don't need to carry any book. You have embodied it enough to determine the kind of things you will ever approve or disapprove. You need to pause now. So let me even test your understanding now. What are the 5 things that I mentioned that you need to check? I mentioned about 5 different things. So let me check if you can still remember. Type them in the comment section now. Type them in the comment section, because I'm about to show you how all those things I categorized for you will now be taken through your personal standards now, in order for you not to be taken out of the way to the executive future you have envisioned. And by the way, if you can't remember what I've just said now, it will not be that nice. But let's see if some people can still remember that what are the things you need to approve or disapprove. It's getting quiet in this space now. Yeah, a lawyer is already speaking. This man will understand what I'm saying, if not more than me. Spent years studying law in the university. I'm talking about Mulayo. Yeah, thank you, Mulayo. Interesting. Oh, can I see this comment section? Oh, goodness. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see it. What is going on here? Okay. By the way, I think some people still remember. Yeah. I said you need to judge life, you need to judge situation, you need to judge people. Very good. So, when something is now happening, in order to prioritize what should be your response and your disposition, anything going on, be it in the Committee of States, in geopolitics, in your social media spaces, in the popular culture and all of that, when you put all of those things together, if they do not pass the test of conformity to the required standard, it means you are not supposed to give your attention to them. What do you approve? What do you approve? Maybe you approve of anything anybody is saying. The reason why you do that is because you do not have personal core values. The reason why you do that is because you do not have your own standard. And anybody that does not have a standard can never be a standard. This is the reason why when you put the whole world on a quadratic plot, you will see that the majority will fall around average and less than average. Why? Mediocrity is the highest attainable level for anybody who is not holding himself to a very high standard. Listen, this is what I'm saying now. The moment you do not have standards that will compel you not to act just at the basic minimum, not to give the basic minimum. If you do not have those standards, you are aspiring to at best attain unto mediocrity, never to excellence. Judgment. Judgment. Let's move that also to relationships. You can change what when I said people, a life situation and all of that, people change that one to relationship. I think one of these days, I'm going to come and speak on relationship, the things nobody has told you or not too many people have ever told you. Because people don't even teach those things publicly, by the way. I'm not even sure I'm also personally ready to teach them publicly. Because relationship will never leave you the same. Either you are aware of that or not. Either you like it or you don't. Either you permit it or you don't. The moment you give access to anybody, that is never going to leave you neutral. It's either that relationship is advancing your cause or is reducing your efficiency. But that you give access to anybody and your life will remain the same, you lie. And when you do not have these standards that I'm talking about, every Tom, Dick, and Harry will qualify to be your friend. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry will qualify to describe themselves as your close pals. Is it not funny how some of you, if you have lived life now for 30 good years, now no doubt some people, you are 30 years old, but you have only walked in wisdom for 5 years in that 30 years. You have lived a life of 25 years of accumulated foolishness. So, with due respect, so people may be talking to you that you are now 30, you should be manifesting wisdom of a 30-year-old. No, you only have requisite experience of 5 years wisdom in a 30-year-old body. So our expectation on many levels, they are just too high for people. They are just too high. But this is the point that I'm trying to make. When people come around you, when you check around and you see the kind of persons you have made friends with, how come you are above 30 years and you've journeyed from locations to location? You've moved from cities to city. You've changed organizations in terms of your employment. And if they ask you to check your contact list for quality persons, you do not have maybe one or two. That's a simple feedback to you that the standard you are living life with does not give room for quality relationship. So you are not a person of quality. Are you saying that? So let nothing thrive in your space without your permission. There are people grown up people, you know, a few persons that's not new to me anymore. Write me every now and then. I want you to be my mentor in Nigeria. And the few moments we spent in the country, few people, maybe so far now Africans, but that we met each other in different places. Just speak for a few minutes in places and say, "Sorry, I'd like to learn more from you. Do you want to take me closer?" And all of that. Those things don't move me. I have been having that kind of experience for over a decade. But sometimes I appreciate those kind of people who choose their mentors. I feel sad when I see grown up people. Now, a successful person can pick on you that I want to mentor you. That will be a blessing for you. But sometimes grown up people, they just find themselves being called a mentee by somebody they never chose. You are a fool when you live that kind of life. And I'm not saying you listening to me, please, all of you here, you are wise people. I'm saying that hypothetical person I'm describing. You should understand that your life, among many other factors, your life is at the mercy of the kind of people you permit into your life. The kind of people. And am I saying you should begin to discriminate? When people come around you now, you feel, can this person advance my cause? No, 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 no. Listen, I'm not even saying you should go and break your relationships with any kind of person. I'm saying to you, added to the weak people you have packed around your lives, can you now put certain standard that will bring you in close proximity to the men that really matter in your field of endeavor? So the kind of governmental functionality I'm describing is not just the one that will make you feel on top of the world. I'm checking everybody coming to my space. No. Some of the relationships you will need will be too far from you. It is part of your governmental functionality to reach out for those relationships with your resources and your time. How come the people you've identified that if I come into close contact with this person, my life will, we have a turnaround in this area, and you are doing nothing about it? You lack the understanding of this thing I'm talking about. You lack the understanding of this thing that I'm talking about. So, you want to check, how can I make you my best friend when we do not have shared values? It doesn't matter who is bringing you into my space, I will deny you access. That is what we are talking about. That they pair you with somebody in an office does not mean that person should be the closest person to you. By the time you take that, what that person is living for, through your standard protocol, no, it may be found wanting. I studied chemistry in my bachelor's. There is something we call quality control. There cannot be quality if there are no standards. We call those standard specifications. So before you move a product into the market, the production processes must adhere to well documented standards. Not only that, by the time the production is finished, you don't just conclude that you are fine. You will now do quality assurance. You are controlling the quality during the production. Post production, you have to carry out tests to be very certain that truthfully we adhered to the standard. We conformed to the rating standard. That is post production. Even when you have given access to people, you do this continuous assessment to know, who do I give more attention, time, and energy to? Who do I reduce the kind of attention time and energy that I'm giving. What do you approve? What do you approve? I've not gotten to the main point, so I may not be able to finish this today. I'm still talking about judgment. That you grow in knowledge. You now have discernment to be able to make sound judgment. And all these things that I'm saying, if you do all of this mentally alone, you will make a lot of mistakes because you will judge by the seeing of your eyes and the hearing of your ears. The two of them combined, they are limited. I taught a group of persons months or years back about how to operate in with your sixth sense. I don't think those kind of conversations are in the public yet. I may reteach them later if I feel persuaded. Because there are people that will be able to advance your life. They will not be looking like it today. So your sixth sense must be engaged in this thing I'm talking about. But I'm saying, so that's why I said, I'm not saying those guys that you feel they are not powerful, they are not men of quality, send them out of your life. No. Some of them may be able to, they can be doors and all of those stuff. But even though they will become doors for you, the protocol of maintaining relationship, the dynamics of sustaining relationship with weak people has a minimum requirement. But when you do not have standard, this time around, you will be giving too much premium to what shouldn't be premium. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And let's break it down because this conversation is elevated now. Well, let me dilute it a bit. When you engage with some folks and you know that this guy is just blank, do you need to sever the relationship or to just reduce the duration of time you are sharing together? It's that simple. Maybe you are believing to be somebody that will lead a major movement in your country. And you have become a full-blown adult. But the people you are surrounded with, the only thing they discuss with you are not, don't let us even mention negative stuff. Only thing, because sometimes you have to discuss this. Only thing they discuss with you is about football match. The other time Manchester was playing, people were shouting all over the place. Normal. I have to check what happened there. I need to be aware. So, and if you're a lover of soccer, please watch your football. Life has to be balanced. But when you minor in the major and major in the minor, your life will be a minus. When you major in the minor and you minor in the major, your life will be a minus. And many people now, the life they are living is a life that is already moving towards negative, even though they are increasing in age. But in terms of productivity, efficiency, and functionality, they are reducing. So in age, they are going like this. In potency, they are coming down like this. Why? The major in minor, the minor in major, their life is minus. Somebody gets what I'm talking about. Judgments. Let me leave that because I can stay on that for 2 hours. I say that with all sense of humility. I can stay on that topic that I'm about to enter now But let me move to where I'm now going. If I can scratch that later, I can move to discuss something else. Maybe continue the same conversation next time. He now went further. He said that you may approve what is excellent. that you may approve what is excellent and be sincere. Whoosh. I feel excited to be sharing this with some of you here today. How many of you feel excited like this? No. When I share this kind of stuff freely and outside, you can imagine what I share when I say I'm not going live on this conversation. You can imagine what that would be. It's because I would never share some of those things with people who have not paid enough personal dues to qualify for them. I want to show you something. Just a moment. Thank you, Lord. Said that you may approve what is excellent and that you may be sincere. I wanted to open dictionary to read the standard meaning of the word approver, but I'm not finding something here now that resonates with what is going on here. But let me read what they wrote here, and I will speak to what is going on here. They said approver is the belief that someone or something is good or acceptable. They believe that someone or something is good or acceptable, which will lead me to say everything you permit, physically, spiritually, relationship wise, financially, environmentally, intellectually, everything you permit, if you like, claim something else. Everything you permit is the standard you agree to. Everything you permit, everything you allow, the moment you allow it and you are not making attempt to change it, we are not saying that this person is trying that. No, what people are saying is not the best there can be. You are indirectly telling us that that is what you are defining at that moment as your possible best. That's approval. And the Bible says that you may approve what is excellent. How many of us approve things that are excellent? How many of us? So it means, because we are now moving to the third arm of your government, you have made the law. You have built standard of your executive. There is now a part that must enforce that law. Somebody get what I'm saying there? Yeah, I found the word I was looking for. Yes. When you give approval to something, they said approval means you officially agree to or you accept something as satisfactory. When you give permission to terrible people to stay in your life, you may not agree, but what you are saying is that I officially sign that this kind of person is satisfactory to my destiny. When you choose to remain in abusive relationship, when you choose to stay in certain organization where your entire future and potential, they have been streamlined, what you are saying without saying is that I officially signed that this is satisfactory. Maybe I should expand the conversation. When you choose to stay in certain environment for a long time, you will become one without environment. We may like you to say the guy is still in process, but after many years, what you are signing in the invisible realm, where the universe begin to orient certain things to your direction. What you are saying there is that I officially sign that this kind of status I'm maintaining is satisfactory. Is satisfactory. Is satisfactory. Is somebody getting what I'm talking about? Now, let me pause to quickly say this. Some of you come here to pay attention to what we teach. We teach these things free of charge. But ordinary like you cannot give is because you do not approve things that are excellent, but you like skit. We will see your like on skit. We will see your likes on comedy. And I might say you should stop liking them, but you will never like things that are advancing your life. Perhaps we believe we are doing something serious with your life. Why? It's still the same thing. You do not approve things that are excellent. You are not satisfied with them. You are satisfied with what will mortgage your future, what will streamline your destiny. So everything you permit, even in friendship. Some of you, you are in courtship now. But the gentleman, maybe as a young lady, the gentleman you are going out with, for 3 days, is not going to speak to you. And by the time he shows up again, he will tell you that I've been busy without any apology. The fact that you are not talking about it does not make you an understanding girlfriend. You know what it makes you? You are telling him, even with in a loud voice, that that thing you are doing, I officially agree that it is satisfactory. Because let me say this to you. Whatever people do to you first time can be taken as a mistake. When they do it second time, you may still want to excuse it. When they do it the third time, that is their assessment of your quality in their own, word. And if it is at variance with what you represent, it is your duty to make sure you prevent the recurrence of such. But some of you, you permit anything. You permit anything. Oh, people are going to drink water. I've been talking for how many hours today alone? It should be the third place I'm speaking today. Oh, thank you, Lord. Kind of forgot to drop my water beside me, but it's okay. You officially agree. But the Bible says that we may approve things that are excellent. So let's break it down. In 2020, I went out with my friend Ayo. The gentleman is in Virginia now, in DMV area of the United States. We're looking for a house. And so we just went to, I stayed in a building in Ibadan that time. I know people from different countries are on this call right now. So Ibadan is in Nigeria. And you know, I'm a Nigerian, by the way. All of you can see the way I speak, right? So we were staying in a 3-bedroom apartment where we're paying less than 200,000 a year. 200,000 right now is like maybe $135 or something like that, or $130 or $140 for a whole year. Talking before 2020, that was in 2018, 2019 or something. So, but you see, as at that time that we moved to that apartment, I could afford an apartment of 500,000 and I would not call on anybody to support me. But I was working with a mentality that I felt was consistent with management. We went to that apartment. So apartment didn't have security, apartment didn't have anything. It was in that house they came to point gun at my head. in the middle of the night while my younger sister was with me. Then one night, I was using certain kind of devices I don't need to go into. They packed all of those things. So that was April 10th, Good Friday of 2020. I now called that my friend Ayo, Ayo Yinka Okediba. We went to look for apartment. I had the money. See what I'm talking about? Because the things I'm teaching you, they are not just things I read in a book. No, 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 no. So by the time we went to look for apartment, we got a building that was so fine. When they mentioned the amount, I felt, well, should I stay here? And my friend encouraged me that if you will still be in Ibadan for a while, I think you should just take this money because in Nigeria, you pay more money in the beginning of your rent. The first year of your rent, you pay all kind of charges, which you are not going to pay the next year, about 40% of the rent itself. Eventually, I still went to choose a fine and secure environment, but a smaller apartment. So we got a room and a parlor, just one room apartment, but with a living room, toilet, and all of that attached to it. Not self corner at a reasonable amount of money. But you see, that one room and parlor was more expensive than the 3-bed where we were robbed. Fast forwarded to a year, a few months later, I got married. So before I got married, we had some business up and down and all of that. I couldn't even, because of my involvement, I was planning a wedding, I couldn't even pay for a bigger apartment. Look at that. Meanwhile, if I had paid for that bigger apartment the first year, that's when I had that money, I now had the money that those who took that apartment were paying at the time that I was ready to move into that kind. But I needed that afresh now. They have raised the gross payment, I mean the cumulative payment to what I couldn't afford. So I sat down. I said, the day I was making this decision, what was I thinking about? Nothing. I was afraid to spend money. That's exactly what is going on with some of you. You are about 30-year-old now, 30 years. And you will still be the one to be watching YouTube videos with, oh God of heaven, with data that cannot stream for 2 hours. So to you, you think it's because I don't have money. No, it is not because you do not have money. It's because you do not have the willpower. If you are not careful, in 5 years' time, you will be able to afford this data you couldn't afford today. But whatever is the equivalence of data today in 5 years' time, if you are not careful, you will still not be able to afford it. So what do? We do not accept our conditions as our standard. We stretch. Somebody say, I stretch. Thank you so much, Precious. That's why it's good to have ladies in someone's life. I didn't say you should go and be carrying girlfriends. So please pay attention. You see, Precious now, since I complained that I needed water, she's been saying I should go get water. I should go get water. You see, those guys there, they will never care. And I'm not angry. I'm a guy too. Say, I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm enjoying the conversation. That's what they will say. They don't mind if someone collapses. But I'm not going to collapse, by the way. I'm seeing your comment. That's what I'm reading it. But thank God I have a wife. I have a daughter. Yes. So my life is easy. I have sisters. All these guys. When people send you a message, say they are planning, they are working on a project. Can you support us with money? Yes. Thank you, Precious. That I digress. Yeah. Are you saying that? So you think you are managing. You think you are trying to save ahead of time, not knowing that you are not saving the kind of future you need. You are saving yourself in smallness for a small future. If I don't tell you this, who should tell you? Who should tell you? Who should tell you? What do you approve? And am I saying you should be staying where you cannot afford? No, no, no. I've never done it. Some of you have been. There are guys there. All the houses I've ever lived in Ibadan, except the first and the most terrible one, when I've not met some of you. But there are people on this call now, they knew all the buildings I've ever lived in Ibadan. I don't go beyond my means every time. But this is the idea. Excellence is achievable at every level. It is first a mindset, first, not a function of account balance. I entered the room of a graduate student in this place where we are living. And I just said to myself, this is an excellent person. Because in that building, those who are around this part of the world, they understand what I'm saying. People live in shared apartments, you have your own units and all of that. I've entered a few rooms, few apartments. The same size, the same space, the same everything. But the level of individuals' perspective is always reflected in the simple setup of their rooms. I'm saying to you, not with extra funds, but with excellent mindset, your life could have been better than it is now. Not with extra fund, not with extra access, not with extra relationship, just with what you have now, if only you have excellent mindset. And what exactly makes people not to have excellent mindset? People who are indifferent. That was where I started. They don't mind. I finished bachelor's degree. Then I went to my hometown. I was teaching in a secondary school. You know, some of those guys too, they still message me till now. When I was working as a rep, I went to work in Oshogbo one day, and I wanted to lodge in an hotel. All to realize that my former student was already working in that hotel. So when I got there, she started shouting, "Oh wow, so and so and so," and I traveled with my national manager. So we're well dressed and all of that. I just said to myself, anybody you have ever inspired, live your life in a way that you will keep being an inspiration. Because when that young lady saw me that day and was telling the people this was my chemistry teacher while I was in high school, I look at my life and at least I was grateful. So I was going somewhere with that story. When I was teaching in that school, they were paying me 15,000 naira as a community teacher every month. Now, that's as a university graduate, talking about year 2016 now. So while I was doing that job, now this kind of conversation is difficult for me to share because it's painful. Maybe I will quote the other part of it. By the grace of God, I'm not a dull person. No, yeah, you don't need to tell me that. So I was teaching there, and part of their, the principal, somebody called me, said the way you were teaching these people, we will help you to get a job with the government of Ondo State. I'm talking about 10 years ago, so that you know, since I've been reasoning this way. And I appreciated the man, and I stepped out of his office. No, I told him right then. I didn't say I was going to go and think about it. I said I would not need Ondo State job. I would never need the job from Ondo State. Now they wouldn't be paying me 15,000. Don't forget, I was helping the students before going for National Youth Service, and I did that for almost a year. So they felt this guy is good. We can help do something about his service so that they can get into the state civil service. Now listen, if you are listening to me, I have friends who are working with Lagos state government, or your state government, Ogun state government. My very good friend. When I come to Nigeria, I still visit many of them. Fantastic people. So our career trajectory and personal focus are not the same. So I'm not saying people working with government, they are terrible. No, 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 no. Get me right. But the kind that that man wanted to help me to get, I told them in 2015, I'm bigger than what Ondo State government could pay for. And one of the people we're teaching together looked at me and said, Wale, be calming down. I won't be speaking Yoruba here now. Because they felt I was arrogant. Guess what? I didn't have a job. So I went from there to service. In service, I served in Benue. I served in the community of Pastor Dr. Paul Enenche in Benue State. I served there. The federal government of the country, they were paying me 19,800 every year, every month rather. And I took that, I finished that service in 2017. Please pay attention, pay enough attention. So by the time I returned back from that place, from that service, don't forget 19,800 now was the highest salary I was getting at that time. I went back to Ondo State from service. And different schools, private schools, now I've rejected the offer the person was giving me. Now I didn't have a job yet. And they were like, should we help you to do this and to do that? Now, I'm saying this publicly. The community where I'm from, former CBN governor of Nigeria there, is our big daddy. The incumbent chief justice of Ondo State was my church member. The time I was talking about. So they asked me at home, can we take your CV to these people? I said, the kind of things I was living for is not in the pay grade of the offers those people were making. Now, the CBN governor could help me, no doubt about that. But what he wanted to help me on, somebody went behind. Don't let us go into that story to block it. Maybe I should share the funny thing with you. The CBN governor, former CBN governor that time, I did something in a church with my friend Mio Akolade, a great guy, a very great guy. It's my senior friend in Abuja there. The man now said he was going to give us offers in places. And my pastor then, now don't use it against him, he was doing it in good faith, went to meet the former CBN governor that Wale will not need this job because Wale is cut out for ministry. They should allow him to go and be a pastor in Anglican church. This thing I'm telling you people on the YouTube live today, till tomorrow, I hid it from my parents because if my dad had known, it might have cost something in church. So the man gave us a blank check. You guys will take this job. I very early, I just graduated from school a year before then. Maybe I would have been building career very early. The pastor told the man that no, these guys are no. Why will he carry this kind of grace to go and be working somewhere? They should allow him to go to Anglican seminary. So when I got back home, because the announcement was made in a place where my dad was present. By the time I got back home, my dad was asking me, how far with your automatic offer? I said, well, there was no offer that was automatic. The man said I should complete my service. They will talk about this. Meanwhile, that was not what happened. But I knew my dad. So when I got back from service, please pay attention. I'm not trying to make myself your subject of the subject of attention there. I'm talking about a mindset. I was now presented with teaching jobs in the same community. And I was almost going to take one. How much were they going to pay me? Don't let me mention it. So I was to resume on a Monday, and I sent a message on the Friday that I like to write you that by our agreement, I should be resuming on Monday. But I want to tell you I'm not coming. And not that I'm not coming for a season, I'm not coming forever. Because I just asked myself, Now, understand that I did 10,000, I did 15,000 job, I did 19,800. So everybody will understand process. But there is a way you can prolong your own process because you lack understanding of time. That's why I spoke about sixth sense. When I took that so-called offer and I got to my house, it was like a voice was speaking to me. You are about to come and bury yourself, not dying literally. You're about to come and bury your potential by returning to this community. And as against my conversation with my dad, I did not allow that week to end. I carried my bag. I ran. I carried my bag. I ran. Somebody say I ran. At least if I didn't have somewhere to go and stay in a city, let me just get out of that environment. A decision I'm forever grateful for. So I left and I went to not too far community. I went to Akungba where I schooled in Ondo State. So I joined my brother. We were doing some business and all. Anyway, the rest is history. I moved there to Ibadan to start my masters and all of that. And when I got to Ibadan, they were someone very prominent. I was discussing with him in Ondo State, and he said, "After your masters, what are your plans?" I said, "Well, from hometown to Akungba, Akungba to Benue, Benue to Ibadan, Ibadan to the ends of the earth." And the man looked at me. What's wrong with this guy? Somebody get what I'm saying? Then I'm talking about 2018. You see the reasoning now. I said Ibadan to the ends of the earth. Oh. There's no all this idea of let's talk to commissioner of industry in Ondo State. Oh, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing. It's my trajectory. Did I get immediate gratification for it? Apparently not. I now have to sign up with First Bank. I was doing agency banking business for years. That was bringing us money. At the time, that thing was not thriving anymore. Then before my brother died, we were having different staff all over. Let me leave that story. But at a point, I had to go back with a master's degree to a market in Ibadan called Alesh Lawyer Market. Now, this is someone who had not less than 8 to 10 people I was paying salary before that time. But this time around now, I had to carry myself pleading with a Muslim guy, a good guy, by the way, to share his shop space with me to be able to have a POS stand. And I already had a master's degree. And I sat down one of the days. I said, I had access to so people. I would have gotten this, I would have gotten that. And I said to myself, there is no better yesterday for you, Wally. No, there is no better yesterday. If I tell you the dynamics of that season, anyway, that was the toughest season of my life. And I believe that one is gone forever. I even know so, not that I believe it. As at that time, I joined Light Nation Church under the leadership of Apostle Femi Lazarus, Westfield of Light Church then. So one day he called me. He said, are you so interested in this thing you are going to do in the market? Can you tell me how much you are making there for you to still be going there with all that you know? I just said to myself one of these days, I said, this can't be it. So the day I said, this can't be it, I went back to some things that I've stopped doing. That was how I now moved. I later went to a real estate company. Then I moved to become a rep. They gave me an official car. Then life now started changing again, gradually aligning to what I had seen before. This is the point. Listen, if you will need to undergo momentary pain in order to defend the spirit of excellence inside of you, go through the pain with dignity. All these moments that I'm talking about, where I was sitting, young boys, Yahoo guys, they want to collect money. They will sit in their cars and they will say, "Call me that POS guy." And the man I was sharing the shop will say, "Hey, Mr. Wale, Ofegbo," what that means is they want to collect money. I will stand up with a master's degree to go respond to gentlemen, young boys that failed out of Ibadan Poly, but they already had money. So I said, no, I have to get out of this place before this place will reconfigure my mind. But if you go on my Facebook and on my IG, it was only those people seeing me in that market that knew that, okay, this is what this guy was doing. You won't catch me in any public meeting looking like somebody who was suffering. It is called regal appearance. As a matter of fact, when I have enough, no, I don't have so much money yet, but I'm comfortable to a level. The time that I don't have money, they are the times I dress the most. I wear suit. I was using dry cleaner, even though I didn't have enough funds. Oh yeah. My younger sister lived with me for how many? For a while. I've never asked her to watch my clothes. It's my personal decision. So when I married my wife, I said, that's not part of what you will do. This is a live session. All these people are there. You can confirm from them. I watch my inner wares. I give my clothes to dry cleaner. If Pastor Joe, she said, or Starman, some of those people might have helped me before to pick clothes from dry cleaner. But listen, this is what I'm saying. You don't need to look like what you are going through. Some of you, when people see you, they are already wondering if God is faithful. They are wondering that this guy is going through. There's no mortal man on the face of the earth, except one, who has ever called me that whatever it is that you are going through, please manage it well. It's only one, and that's my pastor. Because that time I was in distress. And because he has spiritual high. The time he called me to tell me that people were still billing me everywhere to send them money. But some of you, even things you do, you are wondering why people are always, they are always pacifying you. Sorry, things will get better. A king, they are talking to you like that. Your executive arm of government has collapsed. It has collapsed. Somebody said, that is the point I am currently. It is about to start looking like it. In the name of Jesus, faster than you have imagined, a new season is upon you. So when I tell some of you that I understand some of your peculiarities, don't think it's a joke. I shared another line of my personal story in my book, Strategic Reinvention. Some people read it and they were like, when did all these things happen to you? I said, do you know me? Because you don't. But I was putting a structure together. Even when you have not found what you are looking for, never settle for less. Maybe you don't have willpower like myself to turn down some things. But if you have taken them, don't make permanent what should be temporary. No, never. Never. Somebody said never. Don't make permanent what should be temporary. And again, we are all different. I knew people we served together then who remained for like several years depending on Empower, maybe 30,000 salary. It is not about money, but if you receive 30,000 salary for 5 years, there is a level of conversation you will never have the context for ever again if care is not taken. So while we are doing something, we are always asking, what is the next level? How do I move to the next phase? The way I am here now, the restlessness that is on my soul in terms of personal pursuit, not in terms of anxiety about life. Everybody knows that I don't worry about things. I don't. Ask people who are closer to me. But the thought process going on in my head, it's as though I'm just living life again. It is first a mindset. If you can hold that mind for a long while, your experience will begin to gravitate towards it. That we may approve things that are excellent. So you are calling yourself a global icon. You have put global in the front of your name on Instagram. They gave you a 25,000 naira job now. You have not applied for any job after 2 years. So you see that you don't approve things that are excellent. You don't have you do not approve things that are excellent. You approve of mediocrity. I was doing a pro bono this thing with one funny school that time in Ibadan, just to teach them mathematics and chemistry. I don't want to mention their names because one of the teachers there still follow me till today. And the woman, the proprietress, said to me that I should be using tie every Monday, Tuesday. I know that I should carry myself with dignity. But I said, to be putting on tie to this school is too much now for what you are paying. I told them, I said, I have enough suit at home because I really did. I said, but to be putting on suit to this kind of environment, what you put you now? It's too much now. But you see, the way I was doing my stuff there, one woman there still follows me on Facebook also. That one is a senior person, a woman, amazing woman. She's working with FRSC now. Said, I have always known that Aji Shafe cannot stay in that place for too long. I never said that to anybody. But you see, what you don't know is when you enter a room, before you speak, you have already spoken to the intelligentsias in the room. They have read you, they've assessed you, and they have dimensioned your entire being into a frame. And that is the best they can ever offer you. So, that you may approve things that are excellent. That you may approve things that are excellent. You think the way I'm doing this live session now, you think I approve it? Think again. No, I don't. So, but that is what is obtainable for me right now. You won't see me like that in a matter of months. I said to myself, if I speak in a forum where the people who are seated are not Nigerians, if they don't feel blessed, I will stop taking invitation from Nigerians because it means what I'm speaking to them is, what I'm telling them that they are saying they still want me to come again is too weak for global relevance. So when I left Nigeria, if I speak anywhere, I pay attention to people who don't have my context. Some of you, if you speak in an open forum, only Yoruba people will be able to relate. I don't speak American accent. I don't speak British accent. And like I told some of my guys, I was having a closer meeting with them. I said, those of you who are still young, if people insult you, let them insult you. Go and tune up how you speak English. I won't say more than that. But whatever it is, anyhow you want to communicate, just be understood. But if you can communicate in a way you can be understood, and you cannot bless the people who do not have your natural context of birth, you do not qualify to be called a speaker or a preacher. Why? Because you do not approve things that are excellent. Let me tell you, more than 65% of people pastoring in Africa cannot pastor people that are born outside Africa. I'm not even saying people who are not Africans. They can't even pastor Africans that were not born in Africa. And it is not their fault. Why? Because they were not trained to approve things that are excellent. So the communication today does not exclude anybody. I'm giving you the 101 of the top performers. The 101 of the top performers. That you may approve things that are excellent. You need to leave the realm of it is, I think it's okay. No. But to move to say it is excellent. And don't forget, I said excellence is achievable at every level. Let that be your mantra. Let that be what you are living for. Let that be what you approve. And let's dimension it now to beyond your own personal government. Part of the reasons why you keep having terrible relationships is because you are not sincere with your friends. That's why I love my wife. Shout out to her. If you like me, you need to like her. I went to preach somewhere. Now, I will say this because and when I finish preaching, I can show, I mean, I think I left that. This gave me a letter and all of that, different kind of honor, at least at their level. So people were celebrating. By the time I got, that was 2022. By the time I got 2022 or 2021, something like that. By the time I got home, this is my own wife. Oh. He said, wow, what a powerful communication, because I recorded it. Or they were on Mixlr and she listened, something like that. I went somewhere that year. Said, powerful teaching. Your line of thought is not a conventional one. I celebrate you. I said, but the way you communicated there, you could have communicated it better. That's my own wife. I could have said, what's wrong with this woman? When people honor me outside, you don't honor me. Well, maybe I didn't feel good immediately. I never used it against her. Right there. In fact, I have to decide within myself that never to be angry at that. So I did some stuff to show that I appreciate that night. This is the point. The reason why many of you are not doing better is because the people around you, they keep celebrating you when you offer the basic minimum. They are not helping you, they will destroy your life. You are giving value exchange that are very weak. People are saying deep. Why? When will you grow? Meanwhile, deep down, they know that what you are saying, they are just weak ideas packed together, without clarity of thought, without clarity of speech, but they fail to invest into your balance so that you will not lose your sanity. Let's tell him he's doing fine. Maybe you need people to encourage you, but if you only have encouragers, you may not get to where you are going. You really need people who can tell you, guy, I can see your commitment, but you see, you can't continue this way. Not people who will pull you down. There are people that it's better for them to be silent than for them to try to correct you because they don't know how to correct. If they give you what is supposed to be a correction, they will take you out of your commitment. So there is a logic of constructive criticism. But I'm saying you need to trust God to have honest reviewers in your space who, in their own right, have been able to master excellence to a level where they keep improving, and they can tell you this thing you are doing, you can't scale like this, that you may approve things that are excellent. And if you don't have those people around you, be that kind of person. No, I'm not everybody. No, everybody knows that I'm generous with compliments. Somebody met me, said, "Is it everybody you are wishing happy birthday that is a good person?" He said, "Oh, it's on your status. I'm seeing a solid guy. He's a good man. Oh, this guy is this, is that." I said, "Well, maybe because I'm surrounded with good people, by good people." But you see, when it comes to personal level, I'd rather keep quiet than to tell you that I'm impressed when what you are doing is unimpressionable to me. I understand that it might impress other people. And like I said, everyone closer to me, you know that I'm very generous with kind words. With kind words. Because the fact that people are saying you are doing fine, that's not what is going to help you to improve. It is exactly what will take you back to the drawing board for you to be able to improve. Those are the kind of people that you need, that you may approve what is excellent. As I conclude tonight, enforcement. I can teach on enforcement at another level, but let me say this about enforcement. You know, when the lawmakers make the American laws, the executive, they are making, they are giving us policies and all of that. When you go against that law that the lawmakers have made, if there are no law enforcement agents, you will go scot-free. So that's why we have police. Police, they are not the one that wrote the constitution or the law of the land. No. Their own duty is to make sure that anyone going against this must be disciplined. In your arm of government, you must have the law enforcement agent. And it is not about the external stimuli coming to you alone, including your own regulation. When you break your own standard, I'm saying the standard you set for yourself, you must pay for it. Why you can't stop other people from disrespecting you is because you're always disrespecting yourself. You cook rice, the rice will get burnt. You have guests now. You will take the upper part, give it to the guest. You will eat the burnt part. 70 years old man. Later, you are now saying people don't honor you. Do you honor yourself? You go out there, say, I'm craving to just eat corn, and you are eating corn on the street. Or in the street, rather. You are eating corn in the street. You now expect those who are doing serious business with their lives to give you access. Think again now. When you break your own protocol, there must be consequence. When you do that to yourself, there will be no mortal man on the face of the earth that will be able to break your protocol and go away with it. I think at this point tonight is a good time to pause while we continue. Now, a quick one. I do a lot of other things that some of you don't get to see. Please join our community. I'll try to put the link under this video now. Maybe I'll pin it also. And Gabriel, please share it with me on my Nigeria line. I think I should be able to find it the last time you sent it. That's not number one. Number two, try to subscribe to this channel at any point you are seeing this video and like this video. If this conversation blesses you to share with your own people. Yeah. And I will be able to anyway, I can't even take question today. The last announcement, every last Sunday of the month. I do this every Sunday. I take questions to come and address them. But I like to get the questions ahead of time. Yeah, a part of it to maybe prepare to respond, but that's not what is even as important as having the uh sorting out ideas that are similar to be able, maybe I can, instead of answering one person after the other, I can just do a teaching to capture everything. And to be able to do that, you also need to be in that community. Once again, thank you for being here tonight. God bless you. I believe tonight, for those of you in Africa, it's 3:12 p.m. the Central Time of the United States. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Gabriel. I can see that now. Just a moment, beloved people. What's this? Oh, yeah. Correct guy. So I just posted the link now to join the platform. But apparently, most of you here, somebody said, excellence is attainable at every level. People respect a man of result. Correct. Oh. I love what you said. Before, Uncle, anybody that is indifferent is doing himself a great disservice. People will rubbish you if care is not taken, including your own family men. Yeah. Men are not God. Oh. So men don't give honor to anybody who is not commanding it. Just so that you may be aware. I say men, if there are few exceptions. Okay, dokie, let's call it a wrap. Bye for now.